Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed yet another year. We're not going to get until November 2026, and it's not without consequence because there is some drama happening right now with Rockstar Games, and if you're on the internet, you've probably seen this trending. So apparently Rockstar has just fired 40 people in an apparent union-busting effort, and now a lot of the staff is, well, ex-staff, I guess, is revolting, many of whom have taken to protest in front of Rockstar North in the UK. Now, a union is basically a collective organization of workers who come together and help negotiate, wage increases, better benefits, things like that to do with employment on behalf of each other, because it's a lot easier if you go as a group instead of just going as one person. They're just going to shoo you away, right? But Rockstar is saying they released these employees because of leaks relating to GTA 6. Now, that's kind of weird thinking that, nearly 40 people have leaked something, especially when they all happen to be union members. It's a little bit bizarre to me, but I mean, I digress. So it gets a little juicier because among the Rockstar employees that were fired, one of them anonymously posted on GTA forums that the colleagues were messaged by HR for a short friendly meeting, which was actually a termination meeting in disguise, where they received a short letter stating that their employment had been terminated for gross misconduct, apparently relating to posts that they made in Discord. Now, there was a Discord channel comprising of Rockstar employees who were in the union as well as union officials, and Rockstar is basically claiming that these employees were discussing things that were in their NDA in this Discord channel, which constitutes as leaks. So long story short, they got together in this meeting and were immediately marched out of the studio in under 5 minutes. And of course, initially Rockstar didn't give them any concrete evidence or any reasoning at all, because honestly, why would they? These big corporations are all trash. They treat you like an expendable vermin. They do not care. They will literally hire and fire people. HR are not your friend. They're there to protect the company, and I think everyone should know that by now. Now, even worse was the fact that a few employees weren't actually in the studio at the time, and they were fired via a phone call that apparently lasted less than 2 minutes. And some of these employees were sick, recovering from surgery, or even on paternity leave, and they were immediately fired without pay just before Christmas. A few of them are risking losing their visas to stay in the UK and work there. Now, this anonymous ex-employee also fired back at Rockstar's statement, saying they did not see anything that constituted a leak or breached NDA in the actual Discord channel, which was private, by the way. It was only exclusive to the employees that were part of the union, and again, the union members. So according to them, it was a union busting effort because they basically fired only union members. Now, another thing to note is that the week before this actually happened, the union just happened to reach around 200 members, which was close to the 10% that they needed to begin collective engagement of bargaining and open negotiations with management on things like the worsening crunch times, with GTA 6 being a game that was supposed to come out in May of next year and now been pushed back. But the worst part about this whole thing now is that the remaining employees who are part of the union that are still at Rockstar are obviously feeling very scared and cautious because they could be next on the chopping board, right? And morale is at an all-time low. I mean, honestly, can you blame them? If you were in the office and then your coworkers who used to be beside you in the desks are now being fired and never coming back again, you would probably be pretty scared and also pissed off. And this is obviously very scary for us because the game was so close to being shipped, and now even with a year lead time so far out, this is going to take a long time for them to recover. They're obviously super short staff, so I don't know what that's going to mean for the future of GTA 6 in terms of like how polished the game is or like what the quality is in general. But the good news is the union is currently working to get those ex-employees reinstated. But honestly, if they do get reinstated, things would never be the same, knowing that your employer basically betrayed you. But Rockstar has been notorious for having a very harsh work environment, and a lot of ex-employees, ex-contractors are now coming out of the woodwork to say more or less the same things. They're sharing stories of the HR being absolute savages. Yes, Rockstar actually had a rare win in the past where they hired a bunch of the modders who were making great content for GTA. But long story short, this person found out the hard way that their contract was not being renewed when they turned on their company PC, only to find that everything had been wiped. So obviously he was very confused. He reached out to HR, and the HR person basically told him that, sorry, you found out the hard way, but we are not renewing you. Like, imagine basically losing your job and finding out by turning on your PC only to find out that everything that you worked on is gone and you can't even log in anymore. So outside of that, Reddit is saying that the employees probably have a strong case against Rockstar, since you can't technically be fired under UK law for getting your colleagues to join a union. But there's a caveat with this, because you can only try and recruit other employees into the union during the non-paid, non-working hours. So during the off time only, and not when you're paid under work. But if Rockstar can prove that these employees were using company time to chat about it, or using company resources, things like Slack or whatever messaging service they're using, or a company email, then they actually have an argument against the employees. Now, the other thing I read, I don't know if it's true or not, is that you can only fight for your employment rights in the UK if you worked there for 2 years. So according to this person, it might be hard bringing this case to court. But overall, it's pretty hard to say, and I just think it's horrible hearing about this happening with the game being so close to finally being shipped. There's always a chance that one of these employees becomes nuclear and just releases a lot more leaks for GTA 6 online. So if we see that happening in the near future, we can probably presume where it came from. Now, the question is, will this hurt sales? Knowing that Rockstar is a terrible company, will it hurt GTA 6 sales? Honestly, probably not, because it's still GTA 6.